Today, we're going to be taking a look at a watch from a brand that is all about recreating watches, specifically military watches from the World War II era onto the Vietnam War, like the watch that I have in today, the Rec Spec from Praesidus Watches. Big thanks to Praesidus for lending this in for us to take a look at together. So let's do just that and check out the watch. All right, so it's fun for me when a watch like this comes in that gets you going down a bit of a rabbit hole. I'll say right off the bat, Watches of Espionage has a really good article that I'd point you in the direction of. That's a great place to start. Now, this watch is based off Seiko watches that were used by the MACV-SOG, which stands for Military Assistance Command Vietnam Studies and Observations Group. There were three Seiko models used, and they actually have a part two to the article out now, Watches of Espionage, that is, that's talking about a possible fourth. The MACV-SOG performed covert operations in and around Vietnam, including rescue operations and capturing prisoners. They used the Seiko watches reference numbers 6619 8060, then the 6119 8100. A little later, then they finally were using the 7005 8030, which has more of a different case design than the Rec Spec, starting in 1968 through to 1970. From what I understand, these were purchased and used by the MACV-SOG locally versus using military issued watches of the time to help sort of fit in. But I will say there is a load of conflicting information out there, but the Watches of Espionage article seemed to have it fairly nailed down. To the Rec Spec here, though, and that, by the way, is short for Reconnaissance Spec, and this is a fairly faithful recreation of those watches with some upgrades and as well a slightly larger case and crown. The watch is available in black textured dial with either white or green tinted markers, a sunray dial with the same white or green markers, and the khaki brown that I have here today. There's quite a few strap options and even a beads of rice bracelet, but from what I've read, most of these would have originally come on a tropic strap like the one I have on this. The dial was chosen for its legibility, and this is definitely that. This brown dial is really cool, a little out of the ordinary compared to more typical dial colors, but it looks great on the watch. Up top, we have Praesidus printed in white, and down at the 6 o'clock is Rec Spec, 24 jewels printed. Between the 5 and 7 o'clock markers, it's also printed United States assembly. So these are put together in the US. The date is the same as the original with the white day and the black date wheel and is framed in stainless steel. Nice looking simple handset, and between those and the bold raised hour markers, you'll have no problem getting the time. And same goes for in low light situations. The loom is solid, not quite as much real estate on the hands as there is on the markers, so they don't have quite the brightness, but it's a good long-lasting loom. The case is mostly brushed, but with a wide polished bevel along the top of the lugs, some polish work on the bezel too. The lugs are pierced to help out with strap changes. Nice looking and very wearable, comfort-wise case design. I like the look with the recessed crown. Although the crown is larger than the original, it is still a little finicky to grip and set the time. The case back is a snap-on case back with Praesidus MACV-SOG field watch in the center, Japan automatic movement, and assembled in the USA on the outer edge. Running the watch is the Seiko NH36 movement, so hacking and hand winding. 21 joule movement beating at 21,600 vibrations per hour and with an approximate 41-hour power reserve. The strap is a nice quality tropic strap. We have quick release spring bars there. The buckle finish is bead blasted, so it does not match the finish of the watch, but As a whole, it's a good, comfortable strap. It's possible that that's the way the originals would have come with that kind of finish on the buckle. I'm not sure, but looks good paired with the watch. I did see on the site this one on a tan, sort of a suede that went great with the dial. So that's a nice looking option for it too. Size on the watch comes in at a case width of 38.2 millimeters. The lug to lug is 45.1 millimeters. Lug opening is 20 millimeters, and the thickness is 12.3 millimeters, including the crystal, which is a K1 sapphire coated mineral crystal with an AR treatment. Water resistance is 50 meters. And here it is on my 7.25 inch wrist. And it's a great daily. You could totally dress this up if you wanted, or no problem at all in jeans and a t-shirt. For me, for this style of watch, the size is perfect and the watch wears great. The only major negative is the smaller crown, but it kind of has to be like that to stay true to the original, and it's not all that bad anyway. Cost for this comes in at 295 USD, and that feels totally fair to me. Link to where you can find this will be in the description below. Appreciate you taking a few minutes to stop by, and we'll see you real soon. Bye bye.